Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to the best of 30 Days of Sketches by Christie's Beautiful Life. And today's layout is featuring the sketch by Scrapbooking Lauren Tides ink. And it's a cute sketch, but I kind of used it as inspiration. I'm not going to say I went rogue, but I used it as inspiration. Now, according to the way these are posted, it does not look like I just did two layouts in a row with little squares, rectangle thingies on them, but I have. And there is one coming up. So I thought I would use 4x4 squares instead. Well, they're 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 once I added the mat under there. But for some reason, I was thinking all the squares is in the bottom left-hand corner with the big cluster down there. That's what I was thinking. It's centered if you actually look at it. Yeah, it's centered. I think it's because the cluster itself is all the way over to the left. That's what made me think it. I don't know, but that's what I went with on my layout. And I use this is Simple Stories Life in Color, I believe it's what it's called. I had scraps of it left. I'm not sure if I've got a whole sheet of paper or not, but there's plenty in that iris container with similar colors, and I will go get a little bit more. But uh, the normally I do not use speech bubbles. They're not my favorite thing. However, a cluster of them, for some reason, that's okay. But since that upper one up there has black with the colors on top, I thought I would go ahead and make these black instead of having the white background. And I added dimension by adding foam tape on there, so I like that better too. I will be moving these around again. I haven't made up on my mind on where I want them, but I will make it up sooner or later and move. I think just the one time I move them around again. That card I used is a 4x6 one, so I just cut the photos down a little bit smaller, and I'm going to just put them on there, and then the little thing that goes, well, the dies I showed them all earlier, that one's a Simple Stories one, and I put them on the top like a clipboard. And I am going to cluster all that stuff down in the bottom left hand corner like it is on the sketch originally, only I'm going to be a little bit farther down, just so y'all know, just a little bit. I did decide to use the Live Colorfully for my title, well, part of it. And the photos are of my granddaughters, and we had gone to, it was a farmer's expo, they call it. So it had lots of farm kind of sort of things. And it had a pet store there, Pets R Us or something like that. It was on the bottom of the photos, but I cut it off and can't remember it now. But they were giving free photos. So I took the free photos and had the girls pose. I didn't know they were going to turn out looking like little vampires, but they did. Or maybe they're zombies. I'm not sure. But their complexion is really a funny color, and then their eyes are really dark. So when they see this, I don't think they've seen this photo since I got them that day. I don't think so. So when they see this, they might think they're vampires or something. But they do have face paint on their cheek. So my title is Live Colorfully and Wear Face Paint. Now, I know face paint's two words, but I had put all those letters down and I moved it over to the right a little bit because I knew I wanted to put a staple in there. Well, I moved it too far. I should have started on the right and went backwards, but I didn't have enough room to make my banner unless I made face paint all one word. So that's why it's all one word. I just decided it was my layout and that rather than move it, I could accept it as one word. I don't have a problem with that. The sketch shows like bits and pieces of stuff around the photo. and it looks kind of like scraps of paper and chevrons. Well, instead of the chevrons on the left, I figured I would put 3 crayons. So I pulled out my crayons dies, and I'm going to make 3. I'm making red, and then, well, one of them has little speckles on it, but it was a scrap from that notebook paper I put on the side, and that was a scrap that was already in there. I probably cut it out 5, 6 years ago because I have not been in this container in a long time. And I went ahead and made that into a crayon. Even though it was speckled, I liked it, so I made it into a crayon. And they are going to go, well, where I put that red one, all 3 are going to go in the same place. I thought about putting them a little bit higher since the chevrons are higher, but I liked them where they were at, so that's where they're going to end up. Now, the original sketch shows a bow and a string across the 2 photos. I am not going to forget it, honest. I will think I'm done with the layout and turn the camera off, but I will remember it pretty much immediately and go back in and put that string on there. So it will be on there. I don't know why I didn't think of it while I was working in that area, but I didn't. Let's see, where am I at while I was rambling? Oh, there was some brads with a Z, the sticky ones. So I'm going to, well, I told myself try to get them all on this layout, and I believe I did. 1, 2, 3, maybe not, because I only see 3, and I think there's 4. 4. I did get all 4 on there. It took me a second. I was looking right over the top of one. I wanted to add something kind of sprinkled around the layout. Besides stars, there is stars in the sketch. So there was a sheet of, well, half a sheet of American Crafts paper. And it's a sheet that basically was printed to start with, I think, for Maggie Holmes. However, I bought 25 sheets at Big Lots, but they're thinner. So I did glue these to uh, white cardstock before I fussy cut them all out, but I want to scatter them on the layout. My first intention was just kind of go up the right hand corner to the top with these, but that didn't last very long. I think I went a little rogue. The layout took on a life of its own. Yeah, it did. Um, I fussy cut all the flowers out. And you see the tiny ones? I will go back and add centers in there because all know I don't like flowers without centers. And there was one with a vine like, well, I guess it's a stem, but it curled like a vine. So I put that on the viewfinder, and I didn't show the viewfinder die mainly because it was already cut out and was laying on my desk, and I just picked it up and used it. But it is a Tim Holtz picture wheel die. And that camera is a Sizzix one, and I think that's it besides the crayons. And the crayons I just got off of Amazon. I looked several places. I was trying to find some, and one that I had wanted, it kept being out of stock, and I think it got discontinued because then I didn't see it anymore. So I went and got one off of Amazon. I'm trying to figure out something to put in the upper right hand corner because I thought, man, that's awful bare. I should have pulled the layout out. I would have known immediately what I did wrong. But I am going to put something in the upper right hand corner just to fill in that space. And as you've seen, I put a couple things up there. Well, they are certainly not enough because, I like more. But I stopped working on it because I couldn't figure out what to do with what I had left. There was some other papers over there, but they were just not colorful enough for me. So I went back into the container and I found all these 2x2 cards and a couple 4x4. I think maybe 3 or 4 of them. But I am going to end up using the 2x2 cards. And yeah, there was plenty that was that color. It's just that I couldn't. None of them looked interesting hardly to me except this word awesome. And I'm going to cut it down and I did use my trimmer for it. I will not use the trimmer for the black. And the main reason for that is because I don't mind it being a little wonky. I kind of like the little frames and the layers looking a little more handmade. So I don't mind cutting them by hand with the scissors. I am putting adhesive behind this banner here only in the middle of doing it. I decided I want it longer. So I will have to put some adhesive underneath it. Um, the frame, it was hanging down just a little bit too low after I put all three pieces together. So I'm just going to cut the top part off and have it all the way to the top instead. I started to put that plus sign there and it was pink. Well, I already got pink there. I need a different color. So I pulled out a different one from the tray. But while I'm busy adding little odds and ends to the layout, I want to mention that down there below is everybody else that are doing the Christie's Beautiful Life best of the 30 days of sketches. And there's a link for a playlist that Christy created. And on that playlist will be everybody's links straight to their videos. And yeah, that's pretty awesome. So be sure you check that out because you can hit the playlist and play all. And it just keep going on and on. Last time I looked, it had almost 300 videos in there. So be sure to check the playlist out. I'm putting the centers on my flowers here. And then I'm going to scatter them on there. And I'm kind of thinking that might be all that's left, except for the string that I'm going to end up adding. But y'all know I can get fooled and thinking that's all that gets done. And then, oops, there's something else. But I think that's all it is this time. And yeah, I love doing Chrissy's Beautiful Life 30 days of sketches. I love doing layouts without sketches too. But I like to join in on the fun and see all the varieties of layouts that can come from the one sketch. And since I went a little rogue on this one, that's where the variety comes in. Everybody gets busy doing their layout and or they don't have something and so they substitute. You know, there's several different reasons that people will go a little bit rogue. My biggest thing was not wanting to use the little squares again at the moment and substituting the bigger ones and then not looking at the layout again. I am just going to tie a bow on this and then I'm going to clip off the excess string and glue it down and run it through there so it looks like it's wrapped around the photos when it's really not. But I did remember it was on the original sketch. And so yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to make sure I added to my layout. Um, So yeah, that's it. I think that's the last of it. And I am done with my layout. I was looking again to make sure. But yeah, I am done with my layout. The If you leave a comment down there below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so very much for taking the time to stop and watch this. And all of you that leave comments, thank you. They make my day. And there's that string. And don't it look cute hanging there? It's kind of looped a little in the sketch. And so I thought, I think I'm going for the looping. So yeah, the bow in the middle and then the looping, both things I liked. There's my picture wheel, and I thought it'd go pretty good on there with all that color and everything, and of course my little camera, and I did make it dimensional. And there's my cluster up there at the top right, and it looks like it belongs. I mean, there's not one on the original layout, but it looked like it belonged. But I hope y'all have a happy, scrappy week. You have fun with the best of the 30 days of sketches and try a few out. Bye.